Can you hear me? Can you hear? Kayuk, everyone. Can you hear? Great. Okay. I'm going to shut this off because I think it interferes. Okay. All right. Glad to have you back. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you can hear. I just had to go live again because I just had a very disturbing phone call and I just need to get out there and talk to the people because the courts, they did not let me completely shake this attorney, and he is available for consultation, which I don't consult with him. But unfortunately, what they're doing is using him to harass and intimidate me, which is horrific. Like, it really is. Like, it is terrible. It is so horrific that all they can do is try to scare me. All they can do is attempt to intimidate me. And I was on the phone and I was like, well, this is pure nonsense. I said, because Virginia is corrupt. They defrauded the Indians. They defrauded the feds. They have defrauded the United States because they are lying about the Indians. They are lying about what power they have. They're lying about being able to take the land, that people could sell the land. They have defrauded all these people too, because by Virginia, I don't even know who's guilty, who the guilty parties are, how big it is. But you talk about RICO, this corruption, this is real. Okay? Where did it start? Who are the players? This is real though. This is real serious corruption. It spans through different states. They're far reaching. They're attacking me in Georgia. This is like really big. Like really, really big corruption. Like it really is. So, like I said, who are the players? How far reaching it is? I don't even know. I don't know. Because I can't figure out if this is a corruption that started like in the 80s or in the 50s or 70s, or whether this historical lie that they're telling is true, that they were corrupt in the past and they're corrupt now as well. I don't know. I don't know if they're lying on their ancestors or they just made this stuff up thinking, who's going to track that back to the, who's going to track that back to the 1800s or whatever. Maybe, I don't know where the lie began. But I do know that if you had any sense and you pay any attention to any law, then you would know that before their lies began, the corruption that they put out there with the this all being, there was first the Indian Intercourse Act, and it kept going. You see how it says 1790, 1793, 1799, 1834. They kept renewing it until it didn't have to be renewed anymore, right? So the fact that this preceded the whole Gingaskin reservation was, and the Gingaskins that were tribalized. Did you think they made it all up, Jermaine? Anybody who wants to come up on stage, you're welcome to come up. I'm telling you, this daggone attorney, I'm going to tell you what happened, what got me fired up, and why I'm on here again. Because, what they try to do is they're trying to shake me. And, this is all a terrorism thing. The fact that they would have this man call me who is not representing me. I'm pro se, right? But he's calling me to say, oh, well, you didn't, or you actually don't have 51 counts. You got 60 some counts. I said, oh, so there are more counts? How is it? Because I counted them up. And I said, oh, it is not multiplicitous. Oh, it's not. How is 50 some counts not multiplicitous when it's the same issue of land? And you don't have, and they did not show any co-conspirators. And you're talking about there's 29 counts of conspiracy, he's trying to say? 29 counts of conspiracy? How can that be a conspiracy? Well, how can you even say it's a conspiracy and not name any co-conspirators? So he's saying that there's more counts than 51, but that's not multiplicitous. It is not done to harass. It is not done to create an excessiveness. 51 counts is not being done to be excessive? Really? 51 counts when more than half of them are about solicitation and corruption, and conspiracy, but there is no conspiracy. How is that not being multiplicitous? How is that not being multiplicitous? That is excessive. That is trying to create a burden. That is trying to create something that is that is difficult to defend. It is also trying to create a guilty perception in the public. It is very multiplicitous. And he is very corrupt. And I'm going to show his corrupt ass to you people, because which is what you need to know. You need to know that these people, these attorneys, there is so much corruption. The fact that you would seek out someone to really intimidate and to really just to try to daggone make petty little picks at a person to try to create this whole thing of insecurity. Oh, like to try to make it into a real case, y'all. Like seriously, it's not a real case. It's not a real case, because when he first was assigned me, he was saying things like, well, the burden of proof is on them. Now he's trying to give all this energy like, you got to do all this. You got to, wait a minute. They don't have a case. He doesn't have probable cause. The people do not have the right to be on the land, period. Period. They're the criminals. He said in court that he was there to protect the people, the citizens, the property owners. They do not own that property. Period. You cannot own the property if it's patented land, and it's all of that is patented land. They are the criminals. They are creating an encumbrance. And that's the truth. The patent is the highest form of title. And the corruption started with the daggone court clerk trying to act like you're going to intercede and not even daggone publishing this information into the records and sending out letters saying it cannot be transferred. They did not have the right to do that. And the court clerk's office, the commissioner of revenue, none of them had the right to dare go and interfere with us quit claiming the land in the first place. Secondly, you got this whole tier of debt. Now it's a criminal act. Now you're trying to prosecute me. All to protect the fact that you did conspire to defraud the Accomack Indians, the Accomack, Akamantases, Powhatan, Genghis-Khan Indians, and you defrauded the daggone United States. Because you have the proof right here, that, hey, there's all these intercourse acts, and it says it's for the purchase. It's to protect and prevent the purchase of Indian land. That's the purpose of the acts. The acts, multiple, to protect from the purchase of Indian land. And like I stated in court, when you have an act or an law, and it's a good one, it protects people on both sides. Because had the state of Virginia, had the county of Northampton taken heed to the patent, because the patent is a law. The patent is a supreme law. It is supreme. And had they taken that patent, that law seriously, these people wouldn't have been defrauded of their homes, of their land. They wouldn't be defrauded, because you would have been honest with them and said, look, yeah, these Indians, some of them still around, and some could happen. I doubt it, but it could happen. And then you would lose it all. But nobody did that, because they were so confident that these dumb bunnies, these dumb Indians ain't going to figure nothing out, because we already teaching them that they're from Africa. And we sent a bunch of them to Africa. Oh my God, the corruption, y'all. The thievery, the corruption, the deceit. It's massive. The people that are in homes that are on patented land were defrauded by their own people, by the government, by the people of Northampton County or wherever in Virginia, by the state of Virginia. And if I've never seen a record. This is the thing, y'all. Find me the record where the Virginia Assembly actually did say that they detribalized or removed or did whatever to the Genghis-Khan Reservation. Find that for me, because I have yet to even find that. So just like Jermaine Coates is saying, they made it up. He said they made it up. Let me see. Let me get his comment. Like he said, yeah, he just said it. Oh no, it was Jay, but it was John Powell. John Powell said it. They made it up. So maybe that's what it is. They just made it up. Because I'm telling you, I have yet to see that. And I have like copies of all these statutes and records and stuff, and not just copies, but volumes of them. The volumes. And I haven't seen that in the General Assembly or anything. So if it exists, yeah, bring that forward. Because if they did, that's proof that they've defrauded. I mean, either way, it's either way they're wrong. Either way, they be the criminals. They have committed the crime. Whether they actually did say, "Oh, we just remove your reservation. Everybody have at it. Everybody gets to have a piece of the daggone Indian land." If they did do that, yeah, they're corruption. They're criminals. Virginia is a criminal and is in a state of being a criminal. They have committed a crime. The state, the Commonwealth of Virginia has committed a crime against the Indians and the federal government. If that is true, if it is a recorded, daggone thing that the Virginia Assembly actually did do that when they are recording it, that they did it. If it's not true, then the Library of Virginia, the daggone Williamsburg Museum, the daggone the Department of Education, this other, everybody who's putting this information out there that the Genghis were detribalized, that their land was divided into allotments, then everybody's a fraud. Everybody has defrauded, and everybody's part of this corruption. Either way, they're all part of the corruption, whether was done back in the day or whether they just recently did it, like in the 1950s or 70s or maybe 80s. I don't know. Whenever they made up this lie, whoever was involved in that, and not even at the inception of lie, right today, the fact that this prosecutor is fighting and all these people are fighting to keep something that is illegal, that itself is part of the problem. That's all of it. All of it is a problem. All of it is part of the deception. All of it is part of the thievery. All these people that, from the judge and the federal court who had the audacity to dismiss the case like it's a real estate case, a statute of limitations applied to it. She is corrupt. She's corrupt. The fact that they did hire her to do this thing, thinking that would be enough to intimidate a dumb Indian from going any further. That will stop her. That should stop her. It got dismissed. Now it's over. Now we can breathe. See, that's what they want. They want, just stop her. Just stop her. Then we could breathe. We could all live in peace and harmony. No. This is not going to stop it because you are the criminals. You are the criminals. So no, you cannot get corrupt. You put corruption in my face and make it believable that you have the right to commit this crime and steal this land and harbor this stolen property. You do not have the right to harbor, to keep, to detain property that you stole. And I don't care if it's stolen hundreds of years ago or you just got that stealing plan in. The real bottom line is it belongs to the Indians. It always did. And you knew it. And you defrauded yourself. And I guess it must have triggered somebody and they made some phone calls. The court clerk, she's really corrupt. She started this whole thing. She's like the person behind all of this, really. The fact that, you're going to tell somebody as a court clerk what they cannot do. You can't file this, or this is not going to work. And, really? And then you're going to have notices sent out. Oh, Consuela sent out notices. She sent out notices that, this can't be transferred because you're not the owner. Isn't the patent the highest form of title? Did we not declare that we are the grantors and the grantors and the grantees by virtue of that patent? How is it not? How is it not ours? The patent is the highest form of title. It is the supreme title. And how is a court clerk or then I think real estate agent or whatever she was, real estate technician, now she's the county commissioner, the commissioner of revenue. So Consuelo sent out these notices saying that it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. But yet I'm still being charged like a criminal, even though all the notices say that the quitclaims don't even count, boo. So how am I charged as a criminal when I got all these letters that say the quitclaims don't count? They will not be transferred. Then what's the crime, boo? The letters say the quitclaims cannot be transferred. The property cannot be transferred. Oh, you want me to, on the next live, I'm going to show you all of that. I don't have that ready to put up, and I don't want to waste a lot of time, but I'll show you the letters with Consuela's signature on it. Because these people are corrupt, and you need to know about it. And you need to contact them. They're on Facebook. They have office numbers. Contact them. They're corrupt. They need to stop what they're doing. They're criminals. Look at this. They're gone. Where's that man? Where's that dude? Yeah. Oh, Jack Thornton. Jack Thornton, the prosecutor, standing up in court talking about, oh, she has a strange worldview and nonsense. And the fact that he actually, he knows about the case law. He knows about what protects the Indians because he was on the civil case and defending in the civil case that I filed in federal court for years. He was assistant attorney for Northampton. Now he's a Commonwealth attorney. And now, as Commonwealth attorney, it's his duty to protect the people and their property of Virginia. Really? The people that defrauded the Indians? The people that defrauded Virginia? Not Virginia. Defrauded the United States? Those people? You know, I need to go to the Attorney General and demand that all these property owners, that they have charges placed against them for defrauding the federal government. That's what needs to happen. They defrauded the federal government. I didn't. They defrauded the daggone Accomack Indians. That's international crime. I didn't do that. So the reason that I am like, really like stirred up is because I got a phone call from this fellow, Patrick L. Bales, who, I guess he just wanted to like, stir me up or make me shake my foundation. You know what I mean? Because I guess the powers that be don't like the fact that I feel a little bit too confident and the fact that they are corrupt and that they do not have the law on their side, and they don't like how confident I seem in that, because I am confident that they are corrupt and that they do not have the law on their side and that they have defrauded the daggone United States of America and the Accomack Indians. They have stolen property and they are harboring that stolen property. And Patrick Bales is helping these people to maintain their stolen property. He's helping them to harbor their stolen property. They are all participants in this crime and corruption. All the people that I'm showing. Because the only righteous and the only lawful thing is to obey the laws that stand for this land. And the highest law that protects the land is the patent. Period. The patent is law. The patent is law. So Patrick Bales, if you're not trying to protect the rights of me, because you can hate me, I don't care. But you, as a bar attorney, your duty is to uphold the patent, the highest law of the land. And the patent is the highest law concerning the land and the highest law of the land in this case. But you're not protecting the patent. You're protecting these people that are encumbrances against the patent. They have actually have malicious encumbrances. They are the ones that need to be charged with malicious encumbrances because they know the true history and yet they persisted. Come on now. You're going to tell me that there's no patents listed, that there's no evidence of Indian ownership in an Indian country? This is our territory. Everything is ours. So how are you going to say that it was yours? People came here as prisoners and orphans. That's in the records. You didn't come here wheeling and dealing and able to do stuff. You didn't have anything. Anthony Johnson was the wealthiest person in 1655, and he was an Accomack Indian. Y'all, you didn't have anything. So you cannot claim that this is yours. You can't claim you have supreme title. We have patents. It's our land. You defiled the law that protects the land for us, and we suffer because of it. We've suffered for generations. Even though we have risen above it and done and been successful and gotten our own things and done all kinds of stuff, we have suffered massively because of it, and because of you all, the things that you do with this corruption of the courts and the lawyers, because you shouldn't be putting our people in jail. You don't have the authority even to do that. You don't have authority to be using our people as revenue. You're farming us, right? Literally, you have us pay restitution, and it's a form of slavery. You end up working for the government. Oh, you're gonna have a probation for 9 years and and pay restitution. That's what they do. It's a scam. It is corrupt. It is evil and wicked. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? I just want to make sure you can hear me, because I'm going on and I'm putting out some important things. That's what they do. So you end up being a slave. Like, oh my gosh, what I have witnessed and seen in the court, just, being exposed to this. Like what I have seen that they do to our cousins and kinfolk, and they end up just being, like I said, a slave for these municipalities. They end up being a slave. It's horrible. And then people like Patrick Bales escorts them into the court and makes them think, oh, this is what's best for you. Yeah, you got a good deal. And they're like, oh, thank you. Thank you. I've heard it. And I'm like, oh my God, he screwed them over. No one's protecting us from this. No one is protecting us from what is being done to destroy us every day, destroy our families, break up any, just trying to get yourself together, just trying to pay your bills, maybe put a little bit. No, you can't. You can't have anything put aside. Why? Because they are going to take it from you. They are going to try to destroy us. They are using us as like we're farm animals. Like, that's crazy. They're using these court systems to farm us, to use us like we're just, like we are chattel. We talk about being chattel slaves. Well, Anthony Johnson wasn't no chattel. Corso wasn't even chattel. Daggone, especially Mr. Moore was not a chattel. He made sure he got his payment. Okay, in that case. In several cases, and you look through those early court cases in the 1600s, we were handling our business. And we didn't have any Patrick L. Bales in the way of us getting our jobs done and getting our justice served. See, now you have to deal with somebody conspiring with the other team against you. You don't know who to trust, because they try to shake your foundation. They try to harass and intimidate and pick at you and say, oh, you're supposed to ask for a hearing. Oh, really? Was I? I know that I can ask for a hearing, but I don't have to ask for a hearing. I need his bill of particulars, and I need your buddy to get that bill of particulars done. He has 30 days to do that. As a matter of fact, I haven't even been giving any formal charges. He's on the phone telling me, oh, it's not 51, it's 60 something. Okay. And what is that supposed to do to me? Like 51, you say 100 charges. That's not excessive? You mean to tell me any prudent judge or prosecutor would not think that that's excessive? You, Patrick, don't think it's excessive? I don't have any former charges. As a matter of fact, this is not even a criminal case. But see, Patrick's job is not to be any assistance to me. It's to make me think that I'm guilty and that I haven't got a chance in hell. That's what Patrick's job is, right? It's not to protect me. It's to make me think I haven't got a shot. It's to scare me. His job is to scare me. Like, ooh, it's bad. Because the first man that I met, the first attorney, that was him. When he first appeared in front of me and my family, he said, oh, well, they got the burden of proof. They got to prove this. He's not talking like that now. Now he's talking like, oh, you need to, oh, and also, yeah, you need to make sure you do this, and oh, they dropped this and that, just trying to, like, I was like, man, you're being petty, sir. Why are you calling me? What are you calling me? How come you didn't file for a bill of particulars? How come you didn't file a motion for discovery? How come you haven't ensured that I was explain my charges? How come that hasn't happened? And you've been assigned to me because you do work for the other side, Patrick L. Bales. You're corrupt. You're corrupt. Yep, that's right. They're getting the benefits of our ignorance. And so what Patrick Bale's phone call today at right before 2:00 was, it was to make me feel like I'm ignorant. I'm not an attorney. I didn't go to school to be an attorney. I'm not claiming I know how to be an attorney, but I do understand what my rights are in this particular situation, which is my case. Rights that Patrick L. Bales was not trying to stand up for. He didn't care that I had 51 charges placed against me. The first thing any attorney worth his spit would have done would be get those daggone indictments reduced, because they all are the same issue. It's an issue of patented land and quit claiming, and they're all just repetitious of the same. They use the paperwork's just the same damn thing. It's just different addresses. It's not a crime in the first place. So stating that 51 and then how are you going to have more than half of them be conspiracy and soliciting? You don't have any evidence of that whatsoever. So any attorney would have got the conspiracy dropped immediately, would have got the daggone whatever, the solicitation dropped immediately, and then they need to daggone just reduce that ridiculous, making all those indictments that was multiplicitous. But you're gonna say there's conspiracy and not have any proof of any conspirators? Who did I conspire with? You haven't named that. That's not listed. That's not being called into account. What's the solicitation? What's your evidence of solicitation? You know that this claim for land's been going on since 2021. Quit claims have been filed, and duplicate quit claims I'm being charged for criminally. This is not a crime. It is not a crime to reclaim stolen property. The people that now possess, we're going to break it down. So now, since people want to be cute and you want to send Patrick L. Bales into the picture trying to harass me and intimidate me, then now all the properties, I'm going to put them out. I'm going to show every detail of this case publicly. I'm going to talk about every detail. Because you know why? Because you want to be corrupt. Because you want to be because you want to harass me. Because you want to try to intimidate me. Yeah, you're trying to scare me. And that's the only thing you're trying to do is scare, intimidate, and harass me. And it's not going to work because it's not going to stop me from putting all of this out on Front Street. You are so freaking corrupt. How can you dare to do this? That's right. So basically, yeah, all these actors, all these people. Which one is the one? The burden of proof. I'm not remembering where my stuff is. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this one is the one that has, yeah. And then I said, Stringer versus Leslie. I went through I mean, there's so many things. There's so many laws that protect, that does protect us from, what they're doing, Trial by right of property. Whenever an Indian shall be make out a presumption of title in himself from the fact of the previous possession of ownership, the burden of proof has to be on the white man to prove that it is his property. They got to prove that it's their property. See, we don't know this law. We can't do anything. But knowing the law, well, then you got to use the law. Belligerent officers gone wild. Yep, that's what it is. So now they're trying to, you know, terrorize me. They're trying to imprison me. They're trying to imprison me under the color of law. They're trying to act like this is all legal and legit and I should be scared. Girl, you got a lot to worry about, girl. You got all these, it's not 51 charges, it's 62. What difference does it make? It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. These charges aren't legit. If you're going to be legitimate, then all these homeowners need to be going into jail because they are occupying stolen property. They are harboring stolen property. All these people need to go to jail now. And all those people, those government officials need to go to jail. Okay, you know why they're upset? Because of some of the stuff that I put out today. Because they're getting concerned. I thought you had it under control. I thought you said that this was going to be done. You're going to get rid of this problem with this woman. Yeah. They can't promise what they can't do. They can't promise you they're going to end this issue with the land. They can't. It's a legitimate problem. You want to fix the issue with the land, you got to talk to me. You got to talk to the Acamax. You can't get these bullies. You can't send your damn henchmen out to scare me and rough me up like you're a bunch of thugs. And that's exactly what Northampton's acting like. Like it's a thug community, a community of thugs. That's what it's at. That's the way I'm being treated. Like it's a community of thugs. Like they got henchmen in the courthouse that are trying to rough me up and scare me and today going, oh, I'm gonna never. No, there's not enough fear in the world for that, you guys. They can't stop this. They don't have the legal grounds to stop it. And they can't scare me into thinking they have the legal grounds to stop it. Prohibited surveying or settling on Indian lands, punishable by a fine of $1,000 or a year of imprisonment. This is all part of the Intercourse Act. This is all part of the Intercourse Act. But see, they don't want you to know about it. They want to put out stuff in the daggone Library of Virginia about, the Genghis are no more, and how sad they disappeared, and they were detribalized. Y'all are free to go all over their territory and take it up. They're gone. Yeah. They don't teach you about prohibited from purchase of Indian lands except as permitted by treaty. There is no treaty permitting you to be on our lands. None. None. They don't teach you about the fact that they required an issue as a passport before even traveling on our Indian country, punishable by a fine, $50 fine. The courthouse is on our Indian land. The jail is on our Indian land. All that stuff's gonna be gone, y'all. This is we're just beginning in this. Because they do defile the Accomack Indians. They have gone overboard with this. So we gotta pump the brakes on everything. Everybody needs to be getting the same treatment. Prohibited for driving or hunting or driving livestock over Indian lands, punishable by a fine of $100 or 6 months in prison. See, these are the things that I think got people riled up. They're like, what? How about the new Indian Non-Intercourse Act, where they said that we were supposed to be getting payment of annuities to heads of Indian families? Did that trigger some emotions? That we need to be getting a check? We should be getting a check. What? Yes, we should. Especially after all you've done to the Accomack, and we are first contact. And that does mean something significant. Not only are we the first contact, but we're like the hugest empire. Like we're huge. Going all the way to Canada. Y'all exported us to friggin' Nova Scotia and then sent us to Sierra Leone. You owe the Accomack big time. I don't want to hear from any janky lawyer trying to intimidate or harass me again. You send that man to call me again, you're going to have real problems. Because I'm going to start looking to, baby. The problem that you don't understand is that by you doing this to me, I got nothing. You got me locked down because I can't even function because you got these charges against me. So I got time. That's what I have. Time to file charges against many people. That's what you gave me. You gave me time to do things against the people that are the actors against me. You gave me time. By doing what you're doing, you are giving me time. Usually I'm busy. But because you've got me handcuffed with this criminal case, I do have the time to file charges, to file cases, to get this out there to the daggone international. These you guys are criminals. We were supposed to get annuities. Wow. Y'all have no business on our Indian land. Y'all supposed to be in prison for it. What y'all gonna get for being on it all this time? They said $1,000 and a year imprisonment just for surveying it. Wow. What y'all gonna get? What? How am I a criminal when you're the criminal? My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We're not going to be destroyed by a lack of knowledge anymore. Not if I can have any say about it. But the thing that really scares them, besides the Indian Non-Intercourse Act, is this McGirt case. Because this is a real significant case, and I'm about to go deep with that. Because when I talk about it before, I'm just going to reiterate it because, I had a lot of loss of sound and everything last time, and I want people to hear this. This McGirt versus Oklahoma case is crazy. Like, it's really crazy because, like, y'all, this case says that this person that was doing horrible, hurtful crimes, multiple crimes, so-called, right, was protected because he evidently had a good lawyer, a really good one, not like Bales. This lawyer in McGirt versus Oklahoma, he said, look, the crimes you saying he committed, they were on Indian territory. Because they were granted this land, that land, that land. See, he actually claimed land that they were not currently, they didn't currently have like actively, it wasn't in their ownership, rather, like it wasn't, it was like it's like the Accomac. Our territory is patented to us. It's still our Indian patented land. They don't even have patents. See, that's the wild thing. That's what makes this case so powerful, is that they don't even have patents for the land. They were just, by treaty given land in Oklahoma in 1866, right? Like that. They're government political Indians, like the United States made them. They said, you be an Indian. That's what they did. They dissolved and erased the real Indians. And then they said, oh, well, you can be Indian. That one can be Indian. This one. They handpicked who could be Indian. Not to throw shade at the people that are able to declare to be Indian, but that's just really what they did. Right? And they make them go through all kinds of hooplas and all kinds of years. People take 20, 30 years trying to beg to be recognized as being Indian. And it's stupid because if people would just stand up and say, how dare you? You don't get to tell us who's an Indian. What? But see, the problem is the main people that try to want to be Indians are actually not legit. That's why they're willing. I think that's why they're willing to go through all the hoops, because they know they're not legit. Because if they were really legit, like, I'm like, you gonna try to tell us? No. We got it too real for you to be thinking you're gonna get to say you are Indian. No, you don't get to say that to us. We haven't recognized your ass as a daggone. Why are you here, United States Corporation? That's what real Indians should be feeling like. So I can't relate to the people that want to be recognized by the people that have stolen your land. That's just dumb. Okay. But basically, this McGirt versus Oklahoma is so powerful, and it happened in 2020, which is amazing because this guy was doing X crimes, and his great attorney said, whoa, whatever he was doing here, there, or everywhere, it was in Indian territory. So therefore, it's not in your jurisdiction, Oklahoma. Pow! And it worked. But it not only worked in the sense that whatever he was dealing with Oklahoma was over, at least with the Oklahoma State, from that standing, it was over for him, with them attacking him before that or trying to jail him for the crimes he was committing. But the ruling restored more indigenous land than any case in U.S. history. That's the part I didn't emphasize when I did the live earlier today. The ruling restored more, because when he said, this is our territory, that is our territory, and the Supreme Court was like, yeah, that is your territory. Well, that's right. It actually, in essence, restored the territory to the Indians. or they call themselves Native Americans because they're government made, right? That's a government made term. I'll get into that on another live. But let me get rid of this thing that's in the way, or Marcus's little comment, so I can show y'all. What did I do? I got to see what it's telling. Where's Marcus? Okay. Yeah, because I want you to see it. Okay. So anyway, so the Supreme Court ruled in favor of McGirt, finding that the Muskogee Nation retained criminal jurisdiction. Criminal. So it's just like my situation, but I'm not an crime person. I'm not an ex-crime person. I'm not a criminal at all. I'm a person trying to get justice, to reclaim what has been stolen from us. I'm not at all a criminal. But this person, I don't know if they're a criminal, but it was an ex-crime. So I don't know. So anyway, you know about them native reservations. They got all them ex-crime stories. But anyway, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of McGirt, in favor of the ex-crime, because they said that the nation retained criminal jurisdiction over the land reserved for them in 1866 treaty. They went back to 1866 and declared that we as Indians have criminal jurisdiction over our territory. And that's why I got a call from this dude today. Ooh. Because I guess somebody saw this live and they went past the blank parts, because it was like 20 minutes of silence, and I'm surprised anybody hung on and watched that live or that video. But somebody must have hung on, and when they saw what they saw with McGirt, I think it got him a little concerned. So they asked him to come and be the thug and try to shake me up and get me upset. I got upset. I was mad. I was like, why are you calling me with this petty craziness? You're not going to make me feel, you're not making me feel insecure. You're not telling me anything that I'm doing that is really making me feel insecure or wrong. I feel very confident in what I'm doing. And what you're telling me is not impressive. You should have found some better shit to try to make me feel insecure about. Because what you're finding is nothing. Like, he was trying to poke holes and like saying, I didn't do this and I didn't do that right. And I didn't, like he was trying to be petty, right? And I got pissed and I was like, man, and when he went to the part where he said that this wasn't multiplicitous, I was like, yo, how could it not be multiplicitous? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's not multiplicitous. Well, I don't know if everybody has been following everything that I've been putting out here lately. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, good. What is that? Oh, okay. I want to remove that from the stage, but now I really can't. Okay, so I gotta remove from the studio. I gotta remove that from the studio. Stop that screen. And then I wanted to add, I want to remove this. And I want to add that. So basically, he was trying to say that I'm not that it can't be multiplicitous and blah, 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 right? And I was like, what? How can it not be multiplicitous, those 51 indictments? And so, it was because he was trying to poke holes at my bill of particulars. And I did say, and I'm trying to find, let me make it bigger because I can't see where I was saying it was multiplicitous. I guess it must be way earlier. Must be way earlier. Oh, yeah. What did I say the multiplicitous say? No, I did that. Maybe I did it. Person. Okay, so all 20 malicious encumbrances, multiplicitous, jurisdiction ignored. Excessive number. I talked about the excessive number, and at some point in here somewhere I said it was multiplicitous, and I'm not really sure where. I can't find the word here for some reason. I can't find it. But anyway, but it's excessive, and it creates a very expansive burden on the defense, and it does create bias, when you have that many charges against a person and the public, that's a problem, and I guess the fact that he supporting excessive number of indictments against her, the proved indictments make it impossible. 51 indictments designed to make it impossible to afford to hire a reasonable defense, and split similar allegations into separate counts to intentionally maximize the punishment and increase potential penalties. See, I brought up really good things, and he really couldn't really say anything. But he was like trying to just make a point of saying, oh no, when he said that it was not multiplicitous, I'm like, sorry, sir. Like you're for every, they're made up corruption charges. They made up conspiracy charges, and there was no conspiracy. Of course he was being multiplicitous to make 51 or 60 some indictments against someone who has not even committed a crime, who has no prior criminal record. Yeah, you're being excessive, right? You're being excessive. It was designed to not. How was it not designed to make it impossible to afford to have a reasonable defense? No criminal record and all that. All of this is wrong, and he is being multiplicitous. So, I mean, the fact that this lawyer and the fact that the attorney, like I said, how could you not be a decent attorney and not immediately get these 51 indictments reduced? That would be your first thing. If you're an attorney worth your spit, you would get that stuff reduced, right? Like, that's crazy. He hasn't even demanded they actually explain the charges against me formally. I haven't even been arraigned and given my charges, like, explained. So that's why he's making up saying now they're 62. Well, I guess he can, because the charges haven't been explained to me. So they could say they're 85 charges or 95 at this point, because they haven't explained the charges. They haven't detailed what I'm being charged with. And it's been since May of 2024. That's horrendous. They're hiding all this colonial truth, all these laws, and they're committing all these crimes and corruption, y'all. And they think that they can harass and intimidate a woman And what are they going to accomplish? It's going to all end, and they're going to be able to sit back in their houses, and no one's going to think about the fact that they're criminals. Nobody's going to think about the fact that they are harboring stolen property. Everybody's going to forget about that. No, it's 2025. It's the time when people are getting overly exposed. That truth is coming out. So no, please. I'm sorry. That's not what's going to happen. It's not going to all go away, and everybody's going to forget that you are living in a house that you built on illegally on stolen Indian land. It's now a fact of truth. The fact that you all are going to have to deal with the right way. You're not going to be able to use these corrupt government officials, these corrupt lawyers, these corrupt judges, these corrupt prosecutors to get your way. Severin Baldwin. Severin. See, he's a main actor behind a lot of this Severin Baldwin, because he's, the son of the person that owned Air Hall, and he partially owns it, but none of them own it because it's our main Indians' village. They don't own that property. They never have. They lie about their genealogy. They lie about their history, and they are corrupt. We'll talk about that on another day. But they're a very high, and he is a partner in Bay Creek. He's behind a lot of this prosecution. What the prosecution is doing is probably heavily powered by Severin Baldwin, I would say. And I would tell his daughter Grace, you need to be ashamed of your father. He's a sad, pitiful man, and he's doing sad and pitiful, corrupt things. And his friends are going to prison for, tax fraud because they're always trying to do all these illegal real estate, black, whatever, rock typey things. I don't know. They're doing a lot. And your father, you need to take a good hard look at what your family really is and stop being misled by the big Air Hall book, because that's a book of lies. And they are not who they took on other people's identity. The history is a lie. Your family hasn't been there since the 1600s. It's all a bunch of bullcrap. And everything, the contradictions are everywhere. You can find them. It's easy to find the truth. Grace Baldwin. Find the truth about your father's people. Find the truth about your daggone lineage. Y'all are not who you think you are. Y'all people didn't come until the 1800s. Y'all didn't get to America until the 1800s. They are lying. Grace Baldwin, you're named after a Negro woman, a colored woman. There's a colored woman in your graveyard. That might be the real road into being on the property, on the Indian property. But Grace is a colored woman. I found that out way in the late 90s, the early days of me being on Ancestry, 1998, I believe. And I was like, what? Grace is colored. See, she was an Indian. She was a colored woman. You're named after a colored woman. See, they try to keep repeating these names that are really truly connected to the history to try to make themselves legit. That's a tradition. They take on the names of the indigenous people that actually own the land. It happened in my family. It happened in your family. It's happened all over. A lot of these Indians that don't know that they're Indians, they think that they're colored, black, Afro-American, African-American. They don't know their identity. Their identity was actually taken by immigrants who came here as prisoners and orphans and were given their surnames. And then they actually, you can even see on the Eastern Shore, I think it's Hammond, the dude that owns the property by on the seaside by the Indian Town Park. His family is listed as leasing the property from my family. And then all of a sudden they claim to own it for $0. Yeah, that part. But the reality is, for no amount of money could you buy the Indian land. So the truth is, so when you buy Indian land, you're not buying anything because you can't buy it. So you really essentially, when y'all buy Indian land, you are donating the land, the money to that person, because you cannot own the Indian land, period. You cannot own it. And I know that a lot of these people are not used to dealing with bad news, but the Negro people, the Negro Indians, are used to dealing with bad news and difficult situations all the time. Look at me. We have to deal with different, but for you, from your standpoint, y'all don't often have to deal with difficult situations. If you do, you're just like, usually you're like a hopeless case. Like if you get yourself into that dilemma when everything's set up for you to win in this country. But y'all still getting these fixes, and I see it. I understand y'all be getting into your issues too. But the reality is, this issue of you moving forward and taking property in the beautiful Eastern Shore and thinking that it's yours when you know that it's Indian land and there are laws around that, that makes you guilty. That makes you the thief. It does. You are the thief. You defiled the patent. The patent is law. The patent is law. McGirt versus Oklahoma. What is the patent? The patent is law. Where I put that out? I think that's at the beginning. No, the best of Burton of title. I think. Remember the patent. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, you call me a fraud. 51 fraud indictments. Yeah, newspaper, you're corrupt. You're real corrupt. Using the same daggone image from my interview that I was doing Unity in a community event in 2020. Now all of a sudden I'm a fraud. Y'all, the paper trail's too big with this. I even called the FBI about this. I know they know. And they're maybe letting y'all do what you do. But it ain't gonna work. Being the absolute legal title, the land patent derived from the U.S. Constitution, makes the United States of America a party of interest in any attack on that title in courts of law. This is an issue of the United States of America. Because you know what, Virginia? You don't have the authority to deal with this issue. Not without bringing in the United States. And that is a fact of law of the land patent. And you can't divide off the land patent from the quit claims, because the dum-dums that are in the court clerks, the court clerk dum-dum situation, didn't let you know that every piece of paper that was filed by the Accomack Indians, not Lisa Cypress. Only one has Lisa Cypress, actually. By the Accomack Indians does not, all of them have the patent embedded into the document. And all of them state that it's a declaration of the land patent. So you cannot dissect this whole case from the patent. It's embedded into what was done, literally. And the fact that the patent is embedded literally into each and every document that was filed then you must make the United States a party of interest. So if my attorney isn't lying and the federal court did remand it back to daggone the circuit court, the criminal court, yeah, they're wrong. Because in McGirt versus Oklahoma, the Supreme Court did hear that case, and McGirt won. McGirt won, y'all. McGirt won. That's all I gotta say. McGirt won. McGirt won. That's all I have to say. That's all we have to say about that. McGirt won. And the ruling restored more indigenous land than any other case in U.S. history. And you know the injury that has been done to the Accomack and the time and the length of the daggone misclassification and the misplacement of our people and the scattering and the exiling of our people and the torture and the loss of land of our people exceeds anything that these made up Muskogees have, because these aren't the original. They're not even in their original homeland. And they aren't even claiming their original homeland. And they come from various states, let alone, so their authenticness is questionable, right? It's a little bit questionable. But ours is so rich because we've always been there, and the names have always been there, and our presence is always there. And to this day, our cousins and kinfolk are there, and our grandparents are there. We are still present and accounted for. Ooh, baby. The ruling restored more indigenous land than any other case in U.S. history. And it started out with one good and honorable attorney who defended an ex-crime guy, McGirt. Who knew that one good attorney that does the honorable thing and claims the nation's rights over their lands, and that their rights over their lands retain their criminal jurisdiction over the lands, and that ended that. Ooh, McGirt versus Oklahoma. Yep. I will not be shaken by a shady attorney, and nor will I be shaken by these wacky, desperate, evil, land-grabbing thugs either. Because you be the criminal. You're the criminal. Everything you have done is built on lies. Grace Baldwin, your father, y'all can't own Indian land. And that is the chief's main territory. That's the main village. You could never own that. It's not legal on a very real and deep level. It cannot be owned by your family. Severin Baldwin, you can't own it. You might be mad. I know you are, but you can't own it. You never owned it. It's, everything you did is based upon fraud. Talk about fraud. Fraud, lie, theft. Breaking the patent is breaking the law. Breaking the patent is breaking the law. Period. When that judge dismissed it based upon a statute, she broke the patent. She really broke the law. People are learning every day that we be the Indians. Like this information is becoming, they're corrupt too. You're right. The FBI is. People are learning every day that we're the Indians, that we're not African, that we don't come from Africa. Big mistake bringing all these Africans into a country. It became glaringly apparent to many of us that we ain't the same. These people don't have no daggone missed family members. They just repeat what you teach them. They don't have any missing family members. They ain't got no relics or, oh, this used to belong to Kukateke. They don't got that. This is where he used to sit. No, they don't have that. They don't have it. They're not us. And we know it because we've been around them. We know immediately we're not the same people. We're not from Africa. And so many people are getting this understanding. So I don't know how you think that you're going to slam this down and all of this is going to disappear. It won't. It won't. McGirt versus Oklahoma. Restoring more indigenous land than any other case in history. Ooh, baby, there's more of that to come. Because y'all are committing theft and fraud and terrorism. And it's going to stop. You can't use these corrupt lawyers and corrupt prosecutors to end it. And the prosecutors, you can't allow these ignorant, somewhat wealthy people, real estate moguls, to push you around. You can't be controlled by that because they didn't help their close business partners. They didn't stop them from going to jail. You think they're going to stop you from going down, Jack Thornton? You think they're going to stop you? You'll go down. Someone's going to go down for this. Is it going to be Jack Thornton? Is it going to be the court clerk? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Consuela? Who's going down for this? Because at the end of it, someone's going to get in trouble. Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? The more you do to me, the bigger the trouble's going to be. You want to make me into a Mandela and put me in jail? You're going to have a South Africa on your hands, and it's going to happen with a quickness. Because once young people are learning the truth, and you throw me in jail like a Mandela, this country is going to go upside down with a quickness. So think very carefully about what you're going to do and who's going to be your fall guy in this. Because there will be a fall guy. Justice is on its way. You cannot harbor what is stolen. I'm sorry to the people that were defrauded. I'm not really sorry for you because I'm sorry. I didn't do it to you. I'm sad that you have to go through this being defrauded, but you really weren't defrauded because everybody, when you get the property, you should know whether there was an Indian patent on it. You should know that. And especially on the Eastern Shore because they brag about it. And they talk about, the Genghis Khan Indians. And they got little displays at the courthouse and information. And, you can look it up in the records room. And isn't it quaint? So it's not like it's hidden information. And it's not like your title company did not know about it. And it's not like the real estate corporations out there didn't know about it. They knew. They just trusted that the Indians were going to remain ignorant. That's what they believed in. They believed in the ignorance of the Indian. Well, we're not an ignorant people. We never were. But we're trusting people. And we're more trusting than we are ignorant. We're not really ignorant. We're trusting. So rather than researching and checking on behind you and not really trusting you and verifying crap, we believe people for what their word is because we say what we mean and we're honest. So it's not that we're ignorant, it's that we don't seek out the knowledge because we trust that you're going to tell us the truth. But the problem is, like Hosea 4:6 states, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. But now it's time for you to know. Now it's time for you to know, my people. And I'm going to make sure that everybody I can reach knows exactly what I know, blow by blow. Anna.